Imam Ibn al-Qayyim's Islamic Public Library, Newark, New Jersey.
Bismillah walhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah nabiyana Muhammad wa man ittaba al-huda. Previously we've recorded a video or two with regards to recommended books to read in English in fiqh, and one of those books is al-Fiqh al-Muyassir, which was prepared by a group of scholars in Saudi Arabia. We've also mentioned al-Mulakhas al-Fiqhi by Sheikh Salih al-Fawzan, the Summary of Islamic Jurisprudence, which is also a very beneficial book. Both books are very beneficial. Al-Fiqh al-Muyassir is more detailed. Al-Fiqh al-Muyassir is more detailed. It was actually authored, whereas al-Mulakhas al-Fiqhi was a sessions where Sheikh Salih al-Fawzan Hafizahullah Ta'ala conducted these sessions in fiqh on the Quranic radio station in Saudi Arabia. This video, we want to mention an important piece of information that we came across while reading through Al-Mulakhas Al-Fiqhi. And once again, we said it before, we'll say it again, it's a very beneficial book. It's very detailed, mentioning the proofs and the evidences from the Quran and from the Sunnah. But in the first volume, while we were studying it with some individuals, we came across something important, and in the section as it relates to purification. Actually, as relates to prayer. And that is when the author or the authors came to the conditions for the prayer. Because we know there's conditions or prerequisites to the prayer, and then they speak about the pillars of the prayer. So in the prerequisites, and we actually compared the Arabic to the English. And the prerequisites of the prayer, and these are the things that are obligatory before an individual actually enters or intends to pray. Before an individual enters into the prayer, they mentioned 7 points. When we compared it to the Arabic, there are actually 9 points mentioned. There are actually 9 points mentioned. So the 7th point, avoiding impurities in the body, the clothing, and the place of prayer. And we noticed that the English did not mention the 8th and the 9th point, but it's mentioned in the Arabic. The 8th point being facing the Qibla, the 9th point, or the 9th prerequisite being establishing an intention. So the 8th and the 9th are missing. The 8th and the 9th are missing. And as we continue to read, we notice that they put them in the pillars of the prayer. And that's a mistake, because the pillars of the prayer are within the prayer itself. Once an individual makes takbiratul ihram and enters into the prayer, now you have the pillars of the prayer. But we notice they mention facing the direction of the Qibla. Facing direction of the Qibla is actually from the prerequisites. You actually face the Qibla before you begin to pray. And likewise, the second, establishing an intention. So this is actually a mistake, and this is not how it was formatted in or mentioned in the Arabic text. So we remind the brothers and sisters. So if you read this, don't think that, maybe some of the scholars disagree or the likes. No, those points, point number 1 and 2 of the pillars of the prayer are actually 8 and 9 of the prerequisites of the prayer. And this also is an important point of why it's important to have a teacher. Although a book may be beneficial, and our brothers and sisters greatly benefit from the content which is present in a book, but it's always good to have a teacher, because this would have been pointed out by a teacher, and it would have been clarified by a teacher. So I just wanted to make that point for our brothers and sisters. And once again, the book is very beneficial, and we advise our brothers and sisters to obtain this book, 3 volumes, as well as Sheikh Salih al-Fawzan Hafizahullah Ta'ala, his book in fiqh, very beneficial books. And this book is, like we mentioned, is more detailed, specifically mentioning the proofs. This book is less detailed, although it's still very beneficial. Allah knows best. Sallallahu wa sallam wa baraka ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam tasliman kathira.
Imam Ibn al-Qayyim's Islamic Public Library, Newark, New Jersey.